Okay, so right now, I'm just guessing maybe you heavily rely on like email, calls, or fax, but at the same time, I'm trying to introduce you a new way to do it. So let's see whether it is interesting for you guys. Right now, you probably talk to you inside your head like, how is it like challenging to do B2B? Because to summarize, we know that there are like menu process and also the time that you use for B2B. It's actually a lot. So as Shopify, we're trying to make it more efficient and try to make it more easy to manage for you guys. And also for those you know, so Shopify is actually known for D2C, right? We help brands to do online and offline commerce. But if you just look at the D2C portion of the business, so the global D2C market is about 3.8 trillion. But if you look at the B2B market, it's actually twice the size. So even though many people saying that, okay, B2B is not the most exciting, it's not the most sexy business, but this is the business. And also some of the figures that we actually share from, we actually talk with Shopify Plus merchant, which is the top tier of our merchant. And then we understand that there are 3 figures that would be interesting for you. So number 1, 80% of them will actually do B2B online by next year. So this is a survey that we did in 2022. So within 3 years, they expected to be online doing B2B, 80% of them. And the funny fact is, 70% of them, of the B2B buyers, are millennials. So what does it mean? What does it mean to me? Millennial grew up with online experiences. So when they come into the decision-making position, they expect to do B2B in a very colorful way as well. So they actually probably don't want to do it on email or on calls. And the other day, I just read a very interesting survey. So people nowadays very scared of getting a call. Because if you get call, because either it's a scam, or number 2 is bad news. So people actually very scared of picking up the phone. So I know traditionally we do a lot of like calling and then even like emailing for B2B, but with 70% of millennial, you know that these people behave differently. Last but not least, we actually asked our Shopify Plus merchant about like, how are you going to combine your B2B business? How are you going to run it? 85% of them actually say that we want to combine it. We want to do it in one platform in the easiest way. So this is the 3 figures that I want to share with you today. And this is the insights that we use to design the Shopify B2B product as well. Okay, so clearly the shift is very clear that even B2B, we need to shift to a more efficient, more millennial way. So right now, okay, when it comes to B2B, there are 3 challenges. And this is the 3 challenges that we designed the Shopify B2B product on. Number 1, we understand that the B2B product, our platform today, is not very flexible, and to be honest, you cannot customize a lot. So when we talk about like B2B or even online, most of the people think of like, oh, it's just a boring template. I cannot do my branding. I have to win by price. And because there's not many customization you can do right now. So we acknowledge that this is as an area that we need to address today. Number 2, B2B right now is still heavily rely on manual process. So this is less efficient than you run a D2C business. Last but not least, because you heavily rely on the manual power of processing B2B orders, so actually you cannot make it scalable. So your revenue actually hit the top line, and then it's really difficult to grow any further or even exponentially. So these are the 3 challenges that we identify for B2B today. So what can Shopify help? But before that, I do not assume that everyone knows about Shopify. So we are 20 years old, just like WorldFirst. And also we were born in Canada. So at the same time, after 20 years, so now we have like millions of merchants online with us. And also we are available in 175 countries. So the beauty of it is, just like Ho mentioned just now in the panel, once you get on Shopify, you can easily sell to other countries as well for B2B and online. Because having a team on the ground is very, very expensive. But why not you just get on Shopify and then just try different market? That is the low-cost test that you can do. And also, in terms of scales, we have nearly 700 million people shopping on any Shopify store. So basically, every 1 in 3 shoppers globally right now, one shop on any Shopify stores. So this is the scale that we promise you that we can bring. Even though we are a Canadian company, but we are committed to Southeast Asia. So this is the 2 numbers I always feel so happy to present. So first of all, if we just look at the Shopify merchant in Indonesia, Singapore, and Vietnam, totally we are doing about 6 billion business activity. And with our ecosystem, we are actually supporting 600,000 jobs in Southeast Asia. So, so even though we are a Canadian company, but we are committed to Southeast Asia. And also, we try to work with local partners as well. So for example, you see that 2C2P is such a big payment company here in Southeast Asia. So we try to work with 2C2P to provide a payment solution to our merchant as well. So of course, there are other logistic and commerce partners that we work with. And also, I know that Shopify started as a small SMB platform, but we are now really trying to provide our solution for small and big businesses. So in Southeast Asia, of course, Secret Lab or even the Audi Singapore shop is actually on Shopify. Okay, so just a quick introduction on Shopify so you know who we are. But right now, I just want to use the remaining time to walk you through how we are using the D2C solution to do B2B. So remember that we had 3 challenges, right? So B2B is less customizable. Number 2 is less efficient because it's manually heavy. Number 3 is actually because you cannot scale up, so your revenue will hit the top and then difficult to expand again. So right for these 3 challenges, we designed a B2B product to be, number 1, we make sure that all the control is in your hand. So, okay, I'm not going to the product details, but just walk you through. For example, what product is available to certain B2B customer or even at what price, like that granular control, you can totally control. So it's not like, oh, B2B is everything 20% off. If you want to have a special price for certain customer that you have been working for a long time, you can even customize the product available per customer or even at what price. And not to mention, you can even control like what global expansion, like which market you want to expand B2B to. And also, the platform is extensible. So it means that it's customizable with all the APIs. You can make sure that it gives the right experience to your B2B customers. Okay, and also the buying experience that we touch on. So we talk about you can curate your product, the pricing, and also customized checkout. Customized checkout. So basically for B2B, many times you just have a standard checkout on other platform, right? But with your own B2B website, you can customize like which payment gateway you want to use, what payment term you want to give to certain customers as well. And also, this is the most powerful bit, which is the self-serve platform. So do you remember that we mentioned 70% of the B2B buyer will be millennial, which is grew up with the online experience. So they are not used to calling or doing email. Email is okay, or even cannot do fax. So if you can give them a self-serve platform where they can do every buying and then they check out smoothly with their own payment, the card or the company bank transfer, they actually prefer that. So we make sure that it's possible to do self-serve on the Shopify B2B. So I'm going to show you a little bit more about the self-serve bit in a bit. Also, empower your sales rep. So you probably say that, okay, now I use Shopify B2B. Does it mean that I don't need a sales team? No, you get them back to the field, do what they are good at. So your sales team should not be doing the admin work, filling in the form and doing all the stuff for you. They should be selling, talking to the customers. So you basically save their time by automating the B2B process on Shopify. Okay. I just give you a sneak peek because I know we're running behind of time, so I'll just save you some time. So just a rough idea, like how does Shopify B2B works? So of course, the basic stuff is you have the company and the customer account. So meaning, so you have one customer, and then maybe they have 7 outlets. Then you should create one company and 7 customer account. So the beauty of it is that even for different outlets, if you want to have different setup, different product, different pricing, it's totally possible. And actually, it's just at the click of time. You just have to click, and then people log in, and they see their own price. They see the product they can purchase. So this is the automation of it. And then catalogs, so basically the collection of product that you curate for your customers, whether you want to have exclusive product for certain brand, or you can totally control that. Not to mention the B2B checkout. So if you think about the D2C experience, right? So you need to enter your shipping address, your credit card, and all the stuff. But with B2B checkout, and you basically check out on behalf of your company, your buyer. So the B2B company information will be automatically populated when they do the B2B checkout. So you don't have to worry that any buyer would put the wrong information in and get the wrong stuff. So basically, this is automated as well. And payment terms. For example, just now we learned that maybe you want to use your WorldFirst account for different market, and then, for example, if you have one WorldFirst account for 3 different markets, you can totally control like how you're going to get paid, or your buyer can control how they pay you. So this is the payment terms, and also, of course, like the standard 30 days or 60 days, 180 days, then you can totally customize it for each company or each customers. And of course, some of the further features as well. So you can control the minimum quantity or maximum quantity that you let certain customer to buy, and also, of course, volume pricing. So if people buy a lot, and then how much do you want to give the discount to? And also, not to mention, so this is not the whole list of features, but I just picked the interesting ones. So quick order list. So I think this is the best news, the good news for you and for your buyer. Basically, it's almost like you're saving your shopping list on Shopify B2B. So your buyer, let's say if your buyer have to come back to buy certain things like every single week, so they don't have to come back and click and add every single item in. So they can save a quick list, and every single week they just click, pay, and then just buy. So it's easy for you to sell. It's easy for them to buy as well. So which is time saving. And last but not least, this is my favorite feature, which is the company account request. So imagine, so actually I've seen some very, very creative way to do it. So right now, when we talk about B2B, people think about like, oh yeah, I'm selling to like, I'm outsourcing or having vendor or the traditional sense of B2B, right? So distributor would come. But with this, you can actually even think about corporate program. So I know not every single business think about like do B2B, work with distributor, but at some point, as a brand, as a business, you think about corporate program, right? So for example, today, if you want to offer everyone in this room, like, oh, if you come to my brand today, I give you 10% because you attend the WorldFirst seminar. You can totally do that. You just need to collect the email address at the end, and then you send the link, the online form to all these people, and then say that, oh, thanks for attending the workshop, and now I use your email address. You can use the email address, come to my website, fill in the form, and then I'll get your account approved. So it means that in the future, if you go to different company to do like, oh, do you have employee program? Then basically, you can just ask people to go to your website, and then they use their corporate email address, register the account by themselves, you approve, and then that's your corporate program, right? That's the extra revenue stream that probably very difficult to manage before because you have to go one by one and add every single employee into the system. But now you can just automate it. You just ask people to use their corporate email, register, and then there is your corporate program, right? So yeah, this is a very interesting way to do new B2B, not just the distributor concept, but corporate program process. And last but not least, we have a lot of API. So the standard B2B product would look a certain way, but with the API and also with your IT team, you can actually customize it to the way that you like. So yeah, this is just a quick walkthrough to a few interesting features about the Shopify B2B. Last but not least, because today the main theme is cross-border, right? So remember, Shopify is available in 175 countries. So now that you get on your store, your B2B store on Shopify, you can actually expand to 174 other countries as well. So yeah, do not forget that if you think about cross-border, Shopify would be an easy way to try new market. Okay, so I know my talk is all about B2B, but maybe you're interested in the general retail trend as well. So we just published a Southeast Asia retail report by Shopify. So if you're interested, yeah, please take a photo, and then you can just go online. It's free to download. So basically, every year we try to do some like retail trending or report. So this year we have the specific Southeast Asia report. So this is just a short introduction to Shopify B2B. So hope you enjoy, and I'll be around. So if you want to talk, then yeah, just come to me. And now I should pass to co-founder, and just now you just saw at the panel, co-founder and sales director Hao. Yeah.
Right. Thanks, Virginia, for the great sharing and very insightful of the B2B, especially the full potential of it. Okay, so hi everyone, good afternoon. My name is Ho. I'm the co-founder and the sales director from WorldFirst Design. So for the second part of the workshop, I will cover a few topics, and then let's move on to the agenda. So for today's agenda, right, we will have about 6 topics to cover, and followed by a Q&A. So firstly, I'll do a very quick introduction to those of you who do not know about Verse and our background. And then followed by, we will look at some of the interesting insights about the global e-commerce landscape and opportunities. And then we will then zoom into the cross-border, the key benefits and the top challenges. Followed by, we will then go in together and then to see how to develop a cross-border strategy with Shopify. And then I will share with you a very successful case study that who has done very well in the cross-border e-commerce. And then the more exciting part will come to the end, and we'll talk a little bit about the government grant supports, as well as a very exclusive special offer and a promotion for this workshop. Okay, without further ado, let me move on to the next slide. Okay, so I co-founded Verse Design with 2 other partners back in 2009 with one mission to drive clicks to customers. And till date, we have expanded to 6 markets: Singapore, Malaysia, Philippines, Vietnam, India, and the Greater China area. And we now have a team of more than 150 talented staff. And we are proud to work with more than 5,000 satisfied customers. And one last thing is that we are a Shopify Plus agency partner. For those of you who do not know what is a Shopify Plus agency partner, it's the highest tier of Shopify partners. It represents the highest standard and quality. Okay, take a look at some of the D2C and B2B clients that we have worked with. So for the D2C one, we have helped Saturday Club for 30 over markets, Iora Singapore and Malaysia, Mayor Singapore and Malaysia, and together with a few other local brands, and then like Lady M, Sadeli, Love Home, and Sharp as well. So for B2B, we work with Gain City, Ben Leon, and Shimazu. Our team has a well mixture of experience for both B2B and D2C. Okay, so I would like to share with you the core services that we do under the mission drive clicks to customers. So we offer two types of services. The first one would be developing high conversion Shopify Plus and Shopify e-commerce websites. And the second one is our growth services surrounded by SEO, paid search, paid social, and retention email marketing. Okay, so next, let's look at some of the interesting stats about the global e-commerce landscape and opportunities. We have obtained these stats from Obelo and eMarketer. You can see that let me show. So you can see that the average annual growth rate from 2021 to 2027, it is exciting 8.1%. And the other more important one is by 2027, you will see that 23% of the total retail sales will happen online. This offers us a great opportunity, especially for the Singapore cross-border merchants to go international. And then let's take another stats that we have obtained from Obelo and Statista. So you can look at the e-commerce sales growth rate by countries in 2023. From here, you can see that this is the data back in last year. 6 out of 10 faster e-commerce growth countries are located in Asia. And among them, half of them are in Southeast Asia. And Philippines is ranked number 2 with 24.1% of growth. And Malaysia is number 3 with 18%. So by looking at this forecast, right, by looking at this growth, it's a lot easier for you to choose which market you want to go in. Okay, next, let's go through some of the key benefits first. So I have listed down 4 key benefits for cross-border e-commerce. The first one would be expanding your customer base into foreign markets. As we all know that Singapore is a tiny little island with far less populations compared to our neighbors. So by expanding to overseas, it means we have the chance to reach out to millions of international buyers. And that will significantly boost your brand's recognition, reputation, as well as to boost your sales. So number 2, revenue growth. Naturally, when you are reaching to more customers globally, you will improve your revenues and also have a higher profit. Number 3, diversifications of our markets. So when you expand to overseas markets, you no longer depend on a single market and a single economy. If your sales in one market decrease, it may boom in another market. Number 4, enhance brand reputation. So going global, going international will significantly improve your brand reputations. We're talking about international exposure, international brand recognitions, and international loyalty customers. So just now we look at some of the benefits, and then let's take a look at some of the challenges. The first one will be complex logistics. Managing shipping across borders, right, can be very complicated, especially if you are doing in-house deliveries in your home runs. And then you want to find a good cross-border logistic partners who are able to offer the same kind of the service when they do the delivery for you is rather challenging. Number 2, currency fluctuations. So dealing with multiple currency, multiple markets, and it will expose your stores, right, into forex risk. Finding a good partners is challenging. So number 3, cultural difference. marketing and dealing with dealing products and peoples and customers from a foreign market, which share a different preference, a different culture, is challenging. It's not easy to localize your brands and then your brand message, your products to resonate with the local preference. Number 4 is compliance and legal issues. As you know that each and every country and each and every market has its own regulations, rules, PDPAs, compliance, and customer protections. So each country have their own version of compliance for you to adhere to. And this compliance can be costly and time-consuming and resource-intensive. Okay, so next, we have seen the insights, we have seen the potentials, we have also covered the key challenges as well as the key benefits. Let's go into the next things on how to develop a cross-border strategy with Shopify. There are 8 things I'd like you to consider when you're developing your cross-border strategies. Let's go through them one by one. The first one will be choose the right e-commerce platform. I have actually laid down about 6 different points for you to look at it when you are choosing the right e-commerce platform. Personally, I run choosing your e-commerce platform as the number 1 consideration when you are going abroad. The reason why is this is the foundation of your entire cross-border strategy. It serves as the last piece and the most important part of it, which is to convert all your traffic, convert all your clicks into sales, into conversion. And then let's look at them one by one. So the first one would be easy to use. A user-friendly drag and drop kind of e-commerce platform, it is essential for you and your e-commerce operation team. Easy to use e-commerce platform will significantly improve your e-commerce team's productivity and efficiency. Second would be customization. Easy to customization is very important for cross-border e-commerce. There are 2 parts of it. The first one is how easy and how cost-effective to customize the function and features for the new markets that you are entering, be it multi-currency, multi-language, and probably multiple payment gateways as well. So some of the platforms actually is very difficult for you to enable or customize some of the functions and features, which makes the time to market much longer. And not to mention another part is some of the platforms, right, then is very outdated, and then they do not have a constant update of the function and features. Number 3, scalability. I talked about this one in just now the panel discussions. So you need to make sure that the platform that you choose is highly scalable. The reason is because you may be pumping a lot of money into marketing, into your campaigns, and it drive a lot of traffic to your site. But only then you realize that your website, your e-commerce website is unable to host, unable to sustain that amount of traffic and convert them. So the scalability, right, if let's say it fails, it literally means you are putting money on the table. And then next is the omni-channel integration. You need to make sure that the cross-border e-commerce is natively integratable with some of the omni-channels. Yeah. For example, social commerce. You definitely want to be able to integrate with, let's say, Google Shop, Facebook Shop, Instagram Shop, and TikTok Shop when you are running your social commerce. Last but not least is the analytics. The analytics is important and essential for you to make informed decisions. And then some of the analytics and the statistics, for example, like add to cart percentage and reaching checkout and converter. These are some of the essential metrics for you to look at it. You can compare these stats from market to market, and then to find out the ones that you perform better in that specific market. And then after that, you cross-check with your markets that you are not doing well. So by doing that one with the analytics support, you are able to run this type of a comparison for your A/B testings. Okay, number 2, target market and market research. This is the number 2 consideration. So expanding to a new market, right? You may want to ask yourself before you choose which market you want to go in. Some of the questions you may want to ask yourself would be, what is the size of the market that you are entering? And who is your competition? And what kind of regulations, compliance, and the laws that you need to comply and adhere to? And how's your product market fit and your product USP to that particular market? If you're already a Shopify merchant, it's very easy for you to find your potential markets by looking at some of the statistics and analytics. For example, I have shared one here from one of the merchants. From this screenshot, you can easily tell Singapore, United States, and Malaysia are the top markets. If you're not yet a Shopify merchant, there are also other ways for you to easily find such similar statistics. For example, by looking at your Google Analytics for reports. And then there's a traffic by demography reports that you can look at it. Yeah, I've also attached screenshots for you to take a look at it. So these demographics detailed reports, right, easily you can read it out that Singapore, Malaysia, and the United States are the top countries. So in case if you have not attracted enough international visitors or international customers, and then there's in general, there's a rule that you can also consider is to go to the markets by geographically near to you, sharing the same culture, similar language, and similar customer demographics. So if you are a Singapore merchant, right, naturally Malaysia will be the markets that you can go to. Number 3, international shipping and returns. So you need to research and compare to find the best cross-border partners to fulfill your orders. And you always need to disclose the shipping rates upfront, especially if you are doing in-house deliveries in this part of the market in your home ground, and then finding the right partner, and then to be able to provide the same kind of experience is essential. And in the recent days, I've seen a lot of the merchants are using third-party shipping aggregators. What is a third-party shipping aggregators? They are the tech platforms integrated with 100 over of shipping and logistics partners. So with them, you can easily offer your international customers different shipping options. For example, faster shipping, cheaper shipping, and a more combined shipping. Be always clear about your shipping times, because no one like to wait for an online order without knowing the estimate arrival date. So number 3, incorporate the shipping into price. This is very important. I think that many merchants has incorporated these strategies because according to Statista, free shipping is the number 1 consideration for online purchase. So by incorporating your shipping costs into your selling price for that specific market that you want to enter is a very good strategy. And the last is to tailor your product lines. Try to avoid those bulky, cumbersome, and pricier items to sell cross-borders. But of course, if you are able to find a very cost-effective partners who are able to deliver it at a very low cost, then that's a plus point. Otherwise, try not to sell such bulky products into those foreign markets. Okay, number 4, international currency. According to Shopify research, 92% of the shoppers prefer to buy online with their local currency. And 33% of them actually may abandon the purchase if the price is only shown in USD. And 40% of, you can expect up to 40% of increase in your conversion rate if the price is showing in the local currency. And Shopify markets make this very simple. We will go through a video later on to show you how. Number 5, international language. So according to Shopify research, 65% of online shoppers prefer the contents to be shown in their local language. And 40% won't even buy from websites that are not offering their preferred language. And 33% of online shoppers may abandon a purchase if it's not in their language. So the conclusion is, online selling is all about experience. By offering them the local currency and the local language will greatly enhance the shopping experience and result in higher conversions. Shopify has a very popular app. It's called Translate and Adapt. It can easily convert your websites into multiple foreign language. Number 6, domain and SEO. So having a country-specific domains is essential to your cross-border e-commerce for the localized experience. All customers prefer to buy from a localized site. So some of the best practices that you can take a look at it here. For example, if the main website is verseselect.com and you are entering into Malaysia, and naturally, you can choose these 3 ways to localize your domain. You can have my.verseselect.com or verseselect.com./my or verseselect.com.my. By doing this, will not only benefit your conversion rate, it will also actually benefit your SEO for that particular country. Okay, number 7, payment methods. So we always say visiting a website without your preferred payment methods is just like you land on a foreign country, but that is cash only, but you run out of cash. So customers are used to the marketplace experience when checkout. And take a look at one of the screenshots that I made for this is from Shopee. And you can see how many payment methods marketplaces like Shopee is offering. So Southeast Asia online buyers like to have multiple payment options during the checkout. And then the marketplaces are very good in optimizing their checkout experience. So we, as a D2C players, we got to learn from them and adapt the same strategy. For example, in Singapore, PayNow is getting more and more popular. And in Malaysia, we have Doing Now. And in Thailand, we have PromptPay. So study shows that by providing local preferred payment methods, can improve the conversion rate up to 30%. And then 20% of the customers may abandon their purchase if their preferred payment method is not offered. Number 8, duty and import tax. Nothing is more frustrated than your parcel arrive at your country and your custom, but it's stuck because of import tax. Import tax and sales tax can be very complicated. For example, I give you a little bit of examples here. In USA, anything above $800 was subject to an import tax. And each and every state in USA have a different sales tax and configurations and thresholds. So USA customers are used to pay a separate sales tax during checkout. While for people from Europe and Japan online customers have a totally different experience. They would expect all the tax are priced in to the selling price. So the best practices is always show and collect your shipping, your duty, your sales tax, your import tax upfront. And then Shopify has these tax and duties features can easily localize the configurations depending on the specific market's needs and preference. And for those of you who are selling to the state, Shopify is offering another feature. It's called Shopify Tax that can easily solve your tax and especially your sales tax challenges when you are selling to multiple states in the US. Okay, now thanks to Shopify Markets, so those challenges, issues, configurations are no longer a problem because of the latest version of Shopify Markets. To the control room, is there anything I can click and then display the video? Okay, never mind. I think that we probably are unable to play the video. We have actually a 2 minutes video to introduce about Shopify Markets, but I can send it across to you on that video that you can take a look at it. Okay, so next I would like to share with you a case study, a very successful cross-border case study. The brand name is called Saturday Club. Saturday Club is a Singapore-born D2C brands, and then they have expanded now to 30 markets. And then they are into female fashion apparels. So let's take a look at some of the challenges. Prior to migrating to Shopify Plus, Saturday Club was running on Magento, which is very heavy and very slow, especially during the peak sales seasons. And the time to market for Magento typically takes nothing less than 3 months to go into a new market. And they are running, because of Magento is very heavy, they need to run a very premium hosting, and they are running on expensive AWS hosting, which costs them easily $6,000 per month. And it lacks of tools and features for the cross-border expansions. So let's take a look at what we have done. We identify Shopify Plus as the best platform fit for them. And then we did a migration. And the entire migration covers the entire UI UX as UI UX revamp. And then we launched 6 expansion stores, and together with 30 markets. And we localize the payment gateway. We integrate with the order management system and the cross-border fulfillment system. We also enable the marketing automation powered by Digital, and we did the global SEO campaigns for them as well. For those of you who are not familiar with Shopify Plus, right? One Shopify Plus is able to allow you to actually have 1+9 dedicated stores. We call it an expansion store. So what is an expansion store? It means a fully dedicated stores for front end and back ends. So Shopify Plus, one plan will cover 1+9 of them. And on top of that, based on one dedicated store, you are able to scale it up by enable multiple Shopify markets based on any expansion stores. So for example, for Saturday Club, they based on a Singapore expansion store, they are able to easily expand to 30 markets. Okay, here's the results. You can see with Shopify Plus, right, Saturday Club has achieved these results. Within 6 months, they have expanded to 9 new markets. And they have achieved a 5% month-on-month growth. And they have also achieved a 38% of year-on-year revenue growth for their Malaysia store during the Chinese New Year period. I've also prepared another video to play, but I think that due to some technical challenges, we might not be able to display it for today. But I can share with you from later on follow-up. Okay, next is the more exciting part that I wanted to share with you. So for all the Singapore-based cross-border merchants, there are many government grants and incentives are available to make your cross-border expansion easier and then cheaper. I'll just share with you some of the grants that are available. The first one is PSG. PSG, they offer e-commerce and digital marketing grants. And then the grant support is up to 50%. And we have the bigger ones, which is the EDG and MRA. These grants are more for the bigger merchants who want to enhance and improve your brand's capabilities, get yourself ready to go into an overseas market. So if you are pretty much ready to go into that particular market, and then there's MRA, the Market Readiness Assistance Grants, and then to assist you immediately to go into that market. So the eligibility criteria is very simple. You just have to be a Singapore SME with a minimum 30% of local shareholders. For those of you who are interested to find out more about this one, feel free to reach out to our crews later on. Okay, so here I reach out to the workshops recap. So there's a great opportunities in cross-border e-commerce for the next 3 to 5 years, especially in Southeast Asia regions. And it's getting a lot easier and simpler to sell cross-border and international commerce with the right platform like Shopify Markets and Shopify Plus B2B. And the guiding principle is always global selling and local experience.